welcome to the Crypto Jungle, your source for no-nonsense crypto fundamental analysis and technical analysis. If this is your first time joining in, welcome to the show. We study the Wyckoff method, specifically in the cryptocurrency markets. And in today's video, we're just going to do a market update. I want to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the DXY, and a few others. I'm also going to take this opportunity to remind the community, this is the first time saying it on stream, but if you were in the Discord, you already know that I will be taking a week off. There will be a week out of office next week. So this will be the last stream. I'm skipping 3 streams because I leave on Tuesday, come back on Tuesday. So there will be 3 streams missing next week. I will be in Singapore. If you're in Singapore, hey, drop me a line. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the market here. Taking a look at the king of all crypto, and that is Bitcoin. How's the mic? I have done some adjustments, getting some feedback. I don't think I have the best mic for the stream. I think it's a little too hot. Lowered the settings a little bit. Am I too quiet? Is it working? Is it okay? Am I yelling in your ear? Am I making your ears bleed? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin here, starting out on the daily. We're still in this general area. Let's just get my pen tool going here. We're down in this area right here. We're trying to prove that the downtrend has concluded. A lot of people are very impatient when trying to find a bottom on a downtrend conclusion, because they expect a V-shaped recovery. Now, I will say V-shaped recoveries happen, but they typically happen in bull markets. They happen when demand is really, really high. So we had a V-shaped recovery here. I guess you could say we had a V-shaped recovery here, although it took us 3 minutes to get to the resolve there. V-shaped recovery here, V-shaped recovery here. All of these were in the context of bullish price action, with the exception of this one. They were in the context of higher highs and higher lows. Now, when you're in a situation of lower highs and lower lows, it's very, very rare. Nothing's impossible in the markets, but it's very unlikely that you get a V-shaped recovery. If you get a V-shaped recovery in the context of a downtrend, it's usually going to be what we refer to in the Wyckoff method as your automatic rally. And that is not, you don't get a V-shaped recovery and keep going. So I don't expect any sort of price action that would resemble a V-shaped bounce or a V-shaped recovery here. What I am anticipating is some sort of accumulation range. So we will, be trapped inside of a range for a longer period of time. In excess of 3 months is what I would plan for. So we could be looking at getting potentially some bullish price action mid next month, maybe end of August, but certainly potential for some sort of price movement within by September. So, I'm not jumping into anything too early right now. I have a lot more that I want to see happen before I get too excited. But we can take a look at what's going on the smaller time frames. Taking a look at the 4-hour, the 4-hour in this context should be taken with a grain of salt. Don't give this chart a lot of weight, because this is a momentum time frame in a no momentum environment. Okay, so what I mean by that is typically in times of the market where momentum is very high, either up or down, just high amounts of momentum, lots of price continuation, either to the upside or to the downside, you're going to analyze the consolidations on the 4-hour, typically speaking, when you're in a 24-hour market. When you get into the higher time frames, when momentum is low, you want to stick to the higher time frames. So here on the 4-hour, we definitely have kind of this ascending triangle formation, but I would be apprehensive. And if this does break out, I wouldn't be buying the breakout. I would not be buying the breakout here. I would much rather buy any sort of consolidation on the lower end of the triangle. And even then back that up with kind of an aggressive stop and a small position size to mitigate risk. We just don't have the momentum that's required right now to really be assuming a lot of risk. And we have a very high potential of fake out breakouts right now. So, you know, if we do get a breakout, I wouldn't be surprised to see it fake out. So be on the lookout for that. And if you want to just avoid that entirely, then just stick to the daily and above. You know, the daily, it's much cleaner of a picture, and there's nothing really to report. There's nothing really to report on the daily at all. It's, you know, I will say we did get negative news in terms of the CPI numbers. Inflation was recorded on the CPI at around 9.1%, and the market didn't really move that much. So to me, that says that selling is kind of exhausted. So we could be potentially setting up for a longer term accumulation and some sort of holding pattern to take place in the short to medium term here, which would be good. But yeah, you know, it's very hard to go counter trend right now. So if you're looking to take long positions in altcoins or looking to take long positions in Bitcoin, be very cautious trying to go counter trend with your trades right now. Let things accumulate. The longer they accumulate, the better. The longer, the better. So just let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Then we'll jump into kind of some of the other market charts that I like to look at for market health. Ethereum below some really significant support. So, you know, it's not looking great for Ethereum. We're in that similar sort of holding pattern that Bitcoin is in. If we are not able to start getting above some of these moving averages and start breaking above some of this consolidation, then I think we'll just hold a pattern here, hold a trading pattern between around $1,300 and $900 for Ethereum. And the longer we're there, the better. That's what I want to see. I want to see us trade sideways for a while. But in the event we do rally, we have significant resistance up here at around the $1,800 mark. So if we do rally, you know, take your percentage points and go. We're not in a buy and hold type environment right now. All right, let's quickly catch up with the chat. Too much cake, 10 out of 10 on the mic today. Good. Yeah, it's just, it's weird because my streaming software says that I'm too quiet, but every time I listen to the recording, and I got feedback from you guys, so thank you. It was just way too hot, and lots of, you know, just not a lot of clarity. So the streaming software is wrong. Mr. JFK, Blue the Boss, Pablo Sequoia, Sequoia. I'm sorry, Pablo. I'm sorry, butchering your name there. Sounds fine. Genghis Juan, sounds fine. Good morning from Nigeria. Oh, you're from Nigeria. Good morning. Where is everybody else from? Drop where you're at. I am currently in Thailand. Andrew Craig, what's up? Short it. I don't know if there's much juice in that lemon, man. Potentially, but a lot of the market is really bearish right now. So, you know, everybody's on that side of the trade. So we need to counter trend. And we got a really bullish indicator actually in the Discord. So here, right here, we got Elio Trades calling for a recession. So yeah, you know, mainstream media of crypto is gone bearish. So I think it would be appropriate at this point to counter trend that. And if we take a look at some of the indexes, let's start off with the S&P. We've been talking about this area of bounce right now. We've been talking about the middle of the channel here. This has been an area of recovery many times in the S&P. We're sitting there now, and you know, if we close this month on top of the mean of that channel, I think that we have potential to rally either next month or the month after. So that would be a positive sign. Like we said, you know, we had a lot of negative news come out of the inflation numbers, and the market didn't really move. I mean, it was a volatile day, but we didn't really go anywhere. And we can get a clearer picture of that taking a look at the NASDAQ here. We're consolidating, and the consolidation is beginning to squeeze. We're actually getting a little bit of a squeeze here. Let's draw a few trend lines here. Let me turn off alphanumerics. And let's get a few trend lines here, because it looks like a little bit of a squeeze. Yeah, it's not a very good It's not a very conclusive direction that we're taking here, so let's just ignore it. When things don't fit perfectly, just ignore it. If it's left to, if there's too much to interpret, just leave it alone. But we are overtaking some of these levels. We are reclaiming some of these levels on the NASDAQ. So getting back on top of 11.7 on the E-mini futures, that would be a positive sign. And if we can break above 12.2, 12.250, that would be a really positive sign as well. So get kind of, you know, test, reclaim, test, reclaim, test, reclaim would be a really, really good thing to see. Whereas if we got above this level right here on the NASDAQ, right around 13,000 on the E-mini futures, that would be a very positive sign for a recovery in the equities markets. Now, fundamentally, we're very, very bearish. So I'm not looking at any sort of sustained bull market if we do kind of reclaim some of these levels. But, you know, we need to convince the market that we're bullish again. That's where I think we are at this point in the market. Is the whole market is very bearish, and so we need to shift the sentiment. We need to shift the sentiment back to bullish. We need to trick the herd back into getting into their long positions and thinking that we have the possibility of a bull run before we can reverse down and let the fundamentals of expensive money and rising interest rates and rising inflation take effect, their full effect on the market. So, you know, that could be a conclusion of the rally up here at around 15 to 16,000, or even a double top type scenario here at the buyer's climax at around 16.7. But you know, I am thinking long term that we do have a lot further down to go inside of the traditional financial space. And the reason I think we could get a short term move is we've actually got this, the dollar has been rallying. You know, I've been sitting in cash. Cash is king until this chart tells me otherwise. And yeah, it's been a really good move to just be sitting in cash, because cash has been quite profitable as dollars have been gaining purchasing power and gaining purchasing power. A lot of the herd says you can't be in cash because you're gonna, you know, you're whittling away due to inflation. This chart is telling me that I'm preserving a lot of purchasing power against most other currencies. So I'm happy to be in cash, but we've been very parabolic. So, you know, this rally has been intense, just relentless rally inside of the dollar. The dollar has been mooning as far as a currency index is concerned. And we've broken past the area of resistance here. So maybe we get a turnaround. Maybe we get some sort of backup phase for a few months, close out the year in a kind of consolidation pattern. Then going into the 2023, we could see the dollar begin to rally again and further downside inside of the NASDAQ, S&P, crypto, and alike. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is a possibility as it stands right now. Let's catch up with the chat here. Andrew's from Tennessee. Genghis Wan, Seattle. Oh, we used to be neighbors when I lived in Vancouver, British Columbia. Leslie McDonald from the UK, welcome in. Pog face thumbnail. What does pog mean? You'll have to forgive me. I try and keep up with the slang. Pog is, what is pog? My younger brother told me what it was and I forgot. It's something of game. Bounce. My surname is difficult even for people in my country. I live in Spain. Well, welcome. Asu. I'm not even gonna try. Spain is a country that I really want to go visit. Whereabouts in Spain? Well, you don't have to answer that. There is hope. Followed Baloo's advice and made my first million last week. Can't thank the guy enough. Oh wow. Well, thank you. That's a heck of an endorsement. I'm gonna screenshot that one. Play of the game. That's right. Okay, what do you think of the euro being equal to the US dollar? I think it's a great time to go to Europe if you're American. It's showing that the dollar is just really strong. The United States dollar is really strong. That's exactly what this chart is telling us right here, is the United States dollar, the US dollar, is stronger than any other currency right now. It is performing better than the next major currencies. Doesn't matter if it's the euro, doesn't matter if it's the yuan, doesn't matter if it's the yen. Pick a currency, the dollar is doing better. It doesn't mean that currencies are not losing their value. It just means that everything else is losing its value at a faster rate than what the US dollar is doing. So take that with you what you will. Over in Dublin, and it's not raining for once, not a good time to be paid in euros, and not a good Euro USD chart. Yeah, let's take a look at the Euro USD just for shits and giggles. Let's go to Forex. Oof. It looks nasty. It looks nasty. Yeah, it's quite distributional. The dollar, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the dollar milkshake theory, but we could be setting up for a lot of these competitor currencies to really start to lack in value when compared to the global reserve currency, which is the US dollar. That is the trade currency of the world currently. We could see the dollar begin to rally considerably. So if you are looking for a hedge, the US dollar could actually be a hedge. Now that goes against everything crypto, goes against everything Bitcoin, but hey, the facts are in the charts, and the facts are quite clear that when we take a look at the DXY here, the dollar's rallying. So everything else is doing poorly in terms of currency value compared to the dollar. So the dollar is where you want to be if you are going to choose to be in a currency. If that turns around here, who knows? Do you think crypto decouples from the traditional markets if it goes into a similar bear market after 2000? 100%. I think, and I've been saying this for a very long time. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, I've said this on numerous occasions that as long as times are good, we're not going to decouple. Okay. The global markets need to go into a very tumultuous and difficult time for crypto to decouple. The stock market is bullshit. The stock market is absolute bullshit. Everything trades over its value, over its true value, and it's just a manipulated game, and we've been sucked into it. Crypto has been sucked into the traditional markets with its high frequency trading bots and a whole bunch of bullshit tied to traditional finance. And we're not like traditional finance. Fundamentally, we are much, much stronger. We have a lot more of a bull case moving forwards into the future than probably any other sector. There's two sectors that I think are incredibly valuable moving forwards. You have blockchain and artificial intelligence. Those, and maybe, I forget the term of the sector, biomedical. I think it's biomedical. So there's three sectors that I think are going to be very, very powerful moving forwards. And here on this channel, we focus a lot more on the blockchain sector. So fundamentally, we're comparing apples to oranges, but in the eyes of speculators and in the eyes of the market participants in traditional finance, we're just tech stocks on leverage. They don't get it. Nobody actually understands crypto. Nobody sees what crypto is going to do, and they don't give it the merits that it really deserves. I hope it decouples. I think it absolutely will. 100% it will. I think that we are going to be setting up for a super cycle. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for a while. If I'm being honest, my own interpretation is if we are kind of comparing ourselves to the early days of the internet in 1999 and 2000, where the dot-com bubble burst, if we are going to follow that fractal, if we are going to make that comparison, first of all, we're looking at kind of a cycle that doesn't make a new all-time high. So we'll have a 4-year crypto cycle that doesn't make a new all-time high. But what that will result in is a massive Wyckoff accumulation, a epic Wyckoff accumulation phase. And if that actually does take place, if we skip a cycle and don't make a new all-time high. There will still be bull markets and bear markets. Don't get me wrong. There will still be bull markets and bear markets. But if we fail to make an all-time high for 4 years and just go into a long macro accumulation, that's how you get from a $10,000 Bitcoin to over $1 million a coin in one bull market. So I do think the super cycle is absolutely in the cards. I just think it might not come to fruition, and we might not see the peak of that for potentially 10 years, with a lot of bull market in between, a lot of bull market put in there as well. But yeah, we're looking at a good amount of time here. You guys are early. We are all incredibly early. We are on the early side of the adoption curve. You have no idea. Yes, a lot of us didn't buy Bitcoin at $250. It doesn't fucking matter. Trust me. As soon as adoption starts and people stop even counting Bitcoins and start counting Satoshis, then we're going to be going to 1 cent a Satoshi, 2 cents a Satoshi, 10 cents a Satoshi. The unit of account will be sats. And when that happens and we have actual adoption and applications coming online on the Bitcoin network, you guys have no idea how fucking early you are. All right, that's about as bullish as I can get in these market conditions. Taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, again, we've been watching this for a while. If you're new to the channel, we kind of identify this as we use this chart to identify momentum shifts between altcoins and Bitcoin. We did have a little bit of an altcoin rally on its way down to test here, but because we're holding this as support, I would be very apprehensive taking any altcoin plays right now, because we're in a position to rally on this chart. And the interesting thing about rallying on market dominance is, in the context of Bitcoin, it can mean one of two things. It can mean that Bitcoin is rallying and altcoins are not rallying as hard, or it can mean that Bitcoin is dumping and everybody is retreating from altcoins and going into Bitcoin as a safe haven. So two scenarios, one is more bullish than the other, but they both paint the picture that you're better off positioning, or just staying out of, positioning on the Bitcoin side of things. Okay, what do you think? This is a really good question. What do you think happens to the security of Bitcoin when miner rewards run out or stop being profitable? Miner rewards will always be profitable, and here's why. Mining is a self-regulating system. So basically, in Bitcoin, we have a difficulty adjustment. May as well be looking at a Bitcoin chart while I talk about Bitcoin stuff. We have a difficulty adjustment. So as more miners come online, they're all competing for profitability. If too many miners come online, the difficulty raises, and the amount of miners securing the network doesn't have enough coins to go around, and it's not profitable. So what ends up happening is miners turn off their machines. Now we have less miners sharing the same amount of rewards, so now it's profitable again. So basically, the ebbs and flows of mining, it's a self-regulating system. So if the block reward stops and all we have is just the transactional value of processing transactions and mining new blocks, a lot of the miners are going to shut off. But there will still be miners, there will still be security, and furthermore, there will be an incredible amount of trust in Bitcoin by that point. This is like 150 years away. If Bitcoin does kind of go through its adoption curve, first of all, we will be centralized. Don't think any way about it. Power centralizes. Doesn't matter what we're using. Doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin. Doesn't matter if it's some other fucking coin that's got some magic decentralized properties. It does not matter. We always centralize. Always and forever, we will always centralize. So by that point, Bitcoin will be centralized, and it will be controlled by these large powers that their biggest incentive to keep it going is just the fact that they own it and they will keep it going. So they will effectively become the miners, and we're talking countries like the US will be a large contributor to the network, Russia, China, all of the superpowers that are, fighting for this balance of power will effectively become the centralized miners. And they will run the network not for profits, but for securement of power. So it will be just a power grab. If you drop off the network, you hold less power. So because you're giving more power to your opponents. So it'll just be a fight for power. It will not be a fight for coins. It will not be a fight for profit. It will be a fight for power at that point. That's my theory anyways, but none of us are going to be around to see what ends up happening with that. Like I said, it's over 150 miles, 150 years away. So that's the next generation's problem, but it is kind of a self-regulating system. As miners drop off, that's more rewards for everybody else. So as long as people keep mining, I don't care if it's 2 miners, as long as people keep mining, it'll be fine. All right, what else can we take a look at here? Let's just go over our shitcoin bingo. Not that we're in the market for shitcoins right now, but hey, why not? Let's take a look. Turn Alpha Numerics back on. Still no green diamond on Cardano with Alpha Numerics. We're below the EMA. Nothing to report. Nothing's changed. Below the EMA. Below the EMA. Way below the EMA on CRO. Below the EMA on Doge. Doge does have a weekly green diamond on it, which is a good sign that we're getting close to the bottom. Doge has a funny habit of going into very tight and long consolidations though, so even though we're at the bottom, you could be holding Doge at the bottom for like 2 years before it does something. That's just Doge's pattern. Shiba Inu doesn't have that green diamond, also below the 7 EMA. Solana showing a little bit of promise, but still below the 7 EMA on Alpha Numerics, so nothing actionable as of yet. Theta token, same thing, looking rather weak compared to other assets. VeChain, same thing, looking rather weak. XRP, más o menos. Zilliqa, just a garbage chart. I hate Zilliqa. It's such a what a fucky chart. This is not great. And then I added 2 more. Not that they're shitcoins, but taking a look at GMX, this is one you got to do your own research on. This one I'm not going to go through the fundamentals of GMX, but it's a very similar token model to Looks Rare in the respect that when you stake the tokens, you are rewarded in wrapped Ethereum. This is a pretty cool thing, and I think that's going to be a common trend moving forwards, as we're no longer going to be issuing rewards in the form of only governance tokens. We're going to be issuing rewards in currencies. So if you're on the Ethereum network, yes, you'll be getting more GMX token like you would if you were staking on Uniswap, SushiSwap, or any other application. But you will also be capturing some of the commissions of the trading activity in the form of wrapped Ethereum. Looks Rare does the same. Go do your own research on this one. How's Matic looking? BNB looking strong lately. Be careful with that one. Let's take a look at BNB and Matic. Starting off with BNB. BNB, it looks similar to Ethereum. I could see it potentially rallying here, but again, we got to get above that 7-week EMA before I get too bullish. I did have a decent day here, 2% on the day here, 7% on yesterday's candle. But I mean, it's still ugly, right? It's, down, rally, down. We need to get above this 7 EMA. And the market's not... Pay attention to the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ starts to recover, we can see those trickle down effects into crypto. And BNB looks more bullish than a lot of the ones that we've just looked at. Taking a look at Matic. I don't like Matic. If you've ever used Matic, it's quite clunky, but that doesn't seem to matter. It's been doing it's 22% on the day today, and it is above the 7 EMA. So we might have to start paying attention to Matic here once we get the weekly close in about 2 days, 17 hours. That could be a positive close for Matic, so keep that one on your radar. Let's take a look at it on the daily, get a little bit of a closer look. Yeah, the 7 EMA is crossing above the 30 and the 50. We are in area of supply right here. If we could reclaim this level, it would be worth a punt. You would want to consider taking a long position inside of Matic. Not too bad, but currently we're up against resistance. So if we do get a rejection from this level, we'll have to watch and see how it behaves. Maybe down, where would be a good area to look? Probably about 60 cents would be a nice psychological level. Potentially 50 cents. Yeah, let's go with, I think actually this 60-cent level has a little bit more validity. If it's bullish, it'll hold 60 cents. If it's bullish, it'll hold 60 cents. If it's not bullish, it will get rejected and it will fall back below that support line. So Matic not looking bad. Keep that one on your watch list. I mean, the market's certainly working against you in terms of altcoins, but Matic does not look bad. Are those the headphones you use on your old Sony Walkman? Yeah, man. Retro AF. Retro AF. Ohm will... I don't think Ohm's ready to go. I would like to see G-Ohm go back down below $2,000. What I would like is I would like to see that happen. I do think that Ohm has lost a lot of demand. This is a very hard project to understand for a lot of people. So it's going to certainly be a laggard in terms of demand and market performance. It's not performing well against any comparison that you can make in crypto. It's actually looking quite similar to Looks Rare, another very misunderstood project. So, you know, when people don't understand things, they don't buy it. I suspect that we go into a longer period of accumulation inside of Olympus before we get anything truly sizable in terms of a move. So, yeah, I'm not getting too excited about G-Ohm. It's doing its thing. Do you like the 7 EMA on all time frames, or more specifically the weekly / higher time frames? The 7 EMA is just a good measure of momentum. So it makes most sense on the daily, because when you're looking at this, because it's the 7, the 30, and the 50. The 7 represents a week, the weekly average. When you're looking at it on the daily, it represents 7 days. So it's the 7-day average. Then you have the 30-day average, which is your monthly average. And then you have the 50, which arguably you could do 60 if you wanted a 2-month average, or you could do 45 if you wanted the month and a half average. That one's entirely up to you. We're just using the stock settings on alphanumerics, and the 50 has a lot of confluence for the reasons I don't really know. But yeah, you know, it's just a good way to measure performance of the average price day to day. So if the price on today's candle or yesterday's candle is on top of the 7 EMA, it's a price that is higher than the weekly average. Not only is it higher than the weekly average, it's higher than the monthly average, and it's higher than the bi-monthly average. So it's just a good way to monitor the averages of the price, specifically on the daily. And then because we use it on the daily for actionable triggers, we will go on to higher time frames as well. Weekly doesn't necessarily, you know, it does represent a lot of momentum once you get above it, but the number 7 becomes arbitrary on the weekly average. How does that GBTC discount go away? I'm not sure. If it's selling at a discount, I don't know, man. People don't care. People don't care about crypto, and they don't care about crypto more in traditional finance than they don't care about crypto here in crypto. Matic announced a partnership with Disney. Ooh, that would be a bad move for Disney. If I'm being completely honest, I would be very skeptical. I would be very, very skeptical of the legitimacy of that announcement. I've seen these large announcements before, and they turn out to be either completely false and incorrect, or they turn out to be wildly embellished. Disney, if you guys can't tell by my name, Baloo the Bear, Disney character, I'm obsessed with Disney, and I have a lot of respect for that company on making very, very wise decisions. And I don't personally think that Disneyland or the Disney company would invest or create any infrastructure, not only in crypto at all right now because of the negative press associated with crypto, and that is a very sensitive brand. They're very careful with their brand. But I don't think that they would pick a blockchain as shitty as Matic, to be perfectly honest with you. They would have a lot of top, very highly educated people making those decisions. And I don't think anybody who is a crypto native or a crypto savvy individual who has ever used the Polygon network would recommend it for as an enterprise solution. So I would be very apprehensive with that announcement. Could it cause a buzz? Could it cause interest in some FOMO? Yes, but I would be very, very cautious with that announcement. I think it is bullshit. Taking a short break, not streaming for a while. I will be missing 3 streams. I leave for Singapore on Tuesday, so I will be missing Tuesday, which is Monday, depending on where you're watching. And I will be missing the Friday and then the following Tuesday as well. So there will be 3 streams that I'm missing as I am in Singapore. Are you thinking top 20 next bull market is unrecognizable? Yep. Yeah, I do. And I can explain why if you want. Let's pull up a fresh new tab here. And let's go to CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap. And let's go to, where do they hide it? Exchanges, learn, market updates, no. Where do they have it? Historical snapshots. And let's go back in time, shall we? And let's take a look at the last cycle's top 20. And we will go 2018. We've been kind of speculating we're in 2018, so let's go to July. It's the 15th today, so let's go to July 15th, 2018. And let's take a look at the top 20. Bitcoin, not new. Ethereum, not new. XRP, not new. Bitcoin Cash, not in the top 20. EOS, not in the top 20. Litecoin, not in the top 20. Stellar, not in the top 20. Cardano, yes. IOTA, nobody has talked about that in forever. Tether, yes. Tron, no. Neo, no. Monero, no. Dash, no. Ethereum Classic, no. NEM, no. Binance Coin, yes. Tezos, no. VeChain, I don't know. VeChain, maybe. We'll take a look at that. Omise Go, fuck no. Zcash, no. Qtum, no. Most of the coins that are in the top 20 today, let's go ahead and take a look. Curious if VeChain is still in the top 20. Is VeChain still in the top 20? Nope. Nope, VeChain is not in the top 20. Wow. That one held up for a while. Now nobody cares. All of these coins, apart from the ones that you saw in the last cycle, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, maybe, USDC, BNB, BUSD, yes, XRP, I guess, Cardano, yes, Solana, probably, Dogecoin, probably, Polkadot, probably not, DAI, maybe, Shiba Inu, no, Tron, maybe, Avalanche, probably not, Matic, no, Lido, no, Leo, no, Litecoin. A lot of these will be gone. They will not be in the top 20. And we will have brand new coins. We will have brand new coins because there will be new innovations. And with new innovations comes new utility. And with new utility comes new utility tokens. So yeah, trying to call top 20 right now, they don't exist. The top 20 does not exist. Half of the list, half of the roster of next cycle's top 20 is not. It doesn't even exist yet. My net worth will be cut in half by then. Missed your thoughts on BTC, but I felt like it is some sort of downward momentum, just a lot of upward G-bait. Almost looks like it could BART all the way back up to 28K. 28K, if it did rally, that would be the upper end of what I would expect in Bitcoin. Up at that $28,000 level would be kind of the upper end. The upper end, somewhere around here at the underside of the last consolidation. Somewhere around here would be a potential, with the most bullish being potentially getting over 30. So yeah, it's a possibility, but I ultimately don't think that we're setting up for any sort of bull market or anything like that. How do you think partnerships could be good for a cryptocurrency like Algo with FIFA, SHIB with Activision? Do you think it's something to keep in mind, or still just simply watch the charts only? Yeah, I mean, adoption, a bullish news story, if it doesn't do anything to the price, nobody gives a fuck. If it doesn't do anything to the price, it doesn't do anything to the price. If you're trading, price is what you care about. So you don't need to listen to anything. If you see a movement in price, oh, okay, there was an announcement. Cool. You know, I can see that, and I can come up with a plan as momentum emerges back into the space. But, you know, following the news for announcements, you're just going to get trapped. You're going to get trapped. You're the last one in the trade. If you're listening for the announcement, by the time the announcement is made, you're actually the last one in the trade. Everybody else is already positioned and taking the right side of the trade, and they're getting ready to get out. So probably better to wait on alts until closer to the halving. Correct. What do you think of farming and pools on Trader Joe? Is there additional risk loss now in the bear market? The thing about yield farming for me right now in DeFi is I've lost a lot of faith in stablecoins. And stablecoins are the lifeblood of DeFi. Without stablecoins, we don't have DeFi. So because me personally, I've lost a lot of faith in Tether's ability to withstand volatility, USDC's ability to withstand volatility, and subsequently die, as it is quite backed by USDC. I just think that we need a regulated stablecoin. Once we have a regulated and controlled fiat stablecoin that works on the blockchain, DeFi will thrive. It will thrive because there will be so much clarity, and we can truly start to innovate using these CBDCs. A lot of people don't want CBDCs. Listen, if you're gonna use fiat, you're gonna be tracked. Plain, end of fucking story. That's it. Like, you're going to be tracked if you use a CBDC. But the bullish side to that is the introduction of CBDCs will allow DeFi to become sustainable and accountable. And that will drive innovation, that will drive adoption, and that will make crypto light years ahead. So there's two sides to the central bank digital currency coin. There's the bullish side and the bearish side. The bearish is surveillance will go up and you will be tracked and you will lose your privacy. The bullish thing is it will make DeFi do incredibly well. So I can't really stand here and endorse yield farming right now in the current market environment, especially on a side chain. I do like Avalanche a lot. I really, really like Avalanche, but I just feel personally that DeFi is a little more sensitive than I would like it to be. It's a little too uncertain in terms of its future as I would like to see. So anything that you do, just mitigate risk in the appropriate ways that you typically mitigate risk. The easiest way to mitigate risk in DeFi is to diversify cross-platform, cross-chain, and cross-coin, and keep your position sizes small. Don't go all in on anything. Could you imagine how terrible it would be if you went all in UST and we had a similar event like that happen? I mean, people literally did lose billions in a few days. So please, these are cypherpunk projects. These are cryptographic, algorithmically driven experiments, and they need to be treated as experiments. It's all very, very beta shit. Do you have a no way in hell price for BTC? Are you talking up or down? I don't know what you mean by that, honestly. For me with Bitcoin, if we're talking down, no, there is no way in hell price. I would happily buy Bitcoin at $1,000. I would happily buy it at $100. I will always be buying Bitcoin, always. In fact, one of my goals moving forwards into 2023, 2024 is to transition 100% of my business and transition 100% of my life over to the Bitcoin standard. And I will not be dealing in fiat. So am I biased? Maybe. It sure sounds like I'm biased. But yeah, I'm ready to go all in on Bitcoin. As far as a business, as a blockchain business, I'm ready to go all in on Bitcoin. Any improbable price to the downside, I would say $3,000 would be a very, very low price for Bitcoin. Not impossible, in my opinion, highly improbable. But that's, you know, what do you want me to say? You want me to, like, the lowest I could see it possibly going, and that's like it being attacked and a lot of really negative shit coming to it, and like, you know, everybody market selling their Bitcoin after they receive it from Mt. Gox, or like something like incredibly low. I could see $3,000. I don't see it, but I entertain it. It is a possibility. Nothing is impossible. But my more realistic targets here, or I do think we consolidate in this local range. I think we maybe do a rally up to 30, and then the full force of inflation and traditional finance potentially tears us back down to about 13,007 to about 9,800. That's kind of the more bearish but realistic thing that I could see happening. And in the context of a full-blown recession where the markets, traditional markets, not crypto markets, well, they're tied, but the effects would come from traditional finance. If we saw really deep retracements in the S&P and really deep retracements and lose a lot of structure in the NASDAQ, where we see like a 70% retracement in the NASDAQ, in that context, I could see something like a $3,000 to $5,000 Bitcoin. And I'll be fucking buying. I will be buying. I will. If that happens, that'll just force me into going all in. Yo, midnight stream, love it. This is the new time, LA to Mex. This is the Friday stream. My Friday. Yeah, my Friday. You might be your Thursday, depending on where you're tuning in. Well, it's midnight, so it's Friday now. All right, I think I've blabbered on long enough. I actually got to get out of here. I got to get into the virtual classroom. So just one more final reminder. I am going, the next 3 streams will not be happening. The next 3 virtual classrooms will also not be happening. I will be in the Discord to support where I can. I'm just going to be away from the stream setup. I'm going to be traveling in Singapore for business. So yeah, it's been, I don't think I've taken a vacation since I started this group. So I'm going to take one while things are slow. But if anything moves in the market, of course, I'll be in the Discord and I will be sharing my thoughts and opinions and probably providing private content for the VIP members, just short little phone updates or something like that during my travels. I will keep you guys abreast of any movements that happen in the markets at all times, whenever possible, but I will be away from the hardware, so you need to, take a little bit of a break, go check out Singapore. So yeah, that is all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if my mic settings are better in the comments below. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.